All right, so we've got boxes, whether they're divs or semantic elements, it doesn't matter. Every box that you create has different content, border, margins, and padding. So we're going to look at that a little bit closer. So let's go make a new pen real quick. And we're just going to go ahead and title this Practice with Boxes. And if you can put your last name at the beginning of that, that'd be great. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and minimize my JavaScript, and I'm going to show just my CSS and HTML. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a div, and I'm going to say, yo, I'm in a box, so that I can see it, and then I'm going to close my div tag. All right, div tag it is. We're going to go ahead and stylize that. Let's go ahead and make it so we can see it. So if we do a div, and we give it a background color, and let's say we're going to do red, and I'm going to do the hexadecimal version of red, which would be FF0000, FF representing the red, full version of red, 00 representing no green, and 00 representing no blue. And you'll see it. And you can see, like I said, because it's a block element, it's going to go all the way across the page by default and sit there. If this text didn't exist inside of here, if I were to delete this, you would see that the box would actually not show up, because until it has something inside of it, it's not going to exist, even though it has a background color. So I'm going to go ahead and save this pen real quick. And then we're going to go ahead and give it a height and a width. Right now, we're just talking about the box itself, right? We're talking about the content. The content is this text, and we are now creating the box boundaries. So I'm going to go give it a height, and I'm going to be really simple with 100 pixels, and a width, again, really simple with 100 pixels, because I want to keep this at really easy numbers for you. All right, here's a box. The next thing we have is border, padding, and margin. A border, when I apply it, is going to go ahead and have a couple different pieces to it. So the first thing it has is it has a border width. So I can say how thick the border is going to be. Okay, so let's say it's going to be 4 pixels. It's going to have a border style. So that's going to be like, is it dashed? Is it solid? Is it dotted? Yes, you can have different types of borders. So we're going to make a solid border. Once you have that, you'll see your border pop up. The last thing you have is a border color, where I can make it like blue, for instance, right? So I can put blue there, and now I have a border color. So when I'm looking at this div tag, I now have established 2 pieces to it. I've established the content of it and the initial information for the box to exist and how big it's going to be. And now I've established the border. Now, in this case, the border is going to go ahead and have, it's going to have 3 pieces to it, that width, that style, and that color. But we can actually say those all together in what's called a shorthand version. So instead of having these 3 as separate tags or separate properties, we can actually make them all one property. And the order you want to list them in is this order here. So I can actually just define a border that is 4 pixels, space, solid, space, blue. And that's the shorthand version. It goes width, style, color. And you can put them all in the same tag. So now, even if I delete all 3 of these, the border width, the border style, and the border color, you'll notice the border still works because it still has all of those pieces specified. If I'm missing a piece, like solid, for instance, it doesn't exist. So I need to have all 3 pieces so that the computer knows what it's supposed to look like. All right, the next thing we have is padding. Padding is the space between the content and the border. Just like when you put that gift inside that box and you put bubble wrap around it, that is the padding. The bubble wrap is the padding. So if I add padding here, it's going, and I do like, let's say 10 pixels, it's going to add padding to all 4 sides of the box, top, left, right, and bottom. This is important, okay? And then I'm going to add a margin, which is outside the box, outside the border, pushing it away from other things, of 10 pixels. And that ends on all 4 sides of the box. So if I add something after the box, like let's say I add just a word, like the word yo, you'll see that it will sit below the box, but there is space between it and the box. So that margin is creating that space. My question to you, and this is what you're going to answer, how tall and wide is the box now? Do the math. And actually, let's change the border real quick. We'll change it to 5 pixels for easy math. How wide and tall is the box now? Save your pen too. Don't forget to save it. Whew.